Shipping is not the finish line. Production monitoring is how you learn when quality, safety, or cost goes wrong in the wild. This AiQualtest episode gives product, engineering, risk, and quality teams a practical, vendor-neutral playbook for production AI monitoring in 2026. Use a simple operating loop: signal, detect, alert, and respond. That loop keeps conversations concrete when stakeholders disagree about quality or risk. Why this matters: offline gates cannot see every distribution shift. Monitoring provides early warning for incidents and regressions. Enterprises need signals tied to actions, not vanity dashboards. Enterprises shipping AI into banking, insurance, healthcare, and digital operations cannot rely on hallway demos. Buyers, auditors, and internal second-line risk partners ask for repeatable methods, version artifacts, and clear ownership. If you cannot explain how you tested and what evidence you keep, you do not have AI quality, you have optimism. Core concepts come next. Do not memorize jargon, operationalize each idea into cases, metrics, and gates. Concept 1: Quality proxies. Track thumbs, escalations, task success, and groundedness samples. Pick proxies tied to outcomes. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 2: Safety event rates. Monitor policy hits, refusals, and detector alerts. Sudden shifts matter. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 3: Drift indicators. Watch input mix, retrieval hit rates, and confidence distributions. Drift precedes failures. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 4: Cost and latency. Alert on spend and SLO breaches that degrade UX or budgets. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 5: Sampling audits. Human review live samples on a schedule. Metrics alone miss nuance. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 6: Runbooks. Pair alerts with response steps and owners. Detection without response is theater. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Here is a real-world pattern. Setting: Utilities customer care AI handling outage and billing chats. Monitoring showed rising escalations and falling retrieval hit rates after a knowledge migration. On-call followed the runbook, rolled back the index, and restored quality within an hour. Sample audits confirmed groundedness recovery. The incident review added a retrieval hit alert threshold. Notice the pattern: define scope, run controlled tests, capture evidence, decide with named owners, and feed failures back into the next cycle. That is how AI quality becomes a system property, not a slide. Common mistakes slow mature programs. Mistake 1: Monitoring only infrastructure uptime for AI features. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 2: Creating dashboards with no alert owners or runbooks. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 3: Ignoring cost and latency as production quality signals. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 4: Never sampling live traffic for human audit. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. The antidote is discipline, small goal sets, explicit thresholds, change control, and monitoring that connects production incidents back to evaluation suites. Key takeaways for your team. Takeaway 1: Monitor quality, safety, drift, cost, and latency. Takeaway 2: Attach owners and runbooks to alerts. Takeaway 3: Sample live traffic regularly. Takeaway 4: Treat monitoring as part of assurance, not optional ops. Write these into your team wiki and release checklist so they survive staffing changes. Your next steps this week: define 5 production signals with thresholds and owners for your AI service. Then, write a 1-page runbook for your top quality or safety alert. Keep the artifacts, prompts, datasets, scores, approvals so you can defend the decision later. Where this fits the AiQualtest method, learn the foundations with AiVELabs, practice with hands-on cases, and validate with governed evaluation evidence. Visit aiqualtest.com and learn.aiqualtest.com. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for weekly AI quality, evaluation, and governance episodes. Additional depth for practitioners: treat production AI monitoring as a controlled experiment. Version the inputs, freeze the environment where possible, record who approved exceptions, and rerun after every material change, model upgrade, prompt edit, retrieval index refresh, or tool permission change. Pair quality metrics with latency, cost, and safety signals so trade-offs are visible to product owners. When results regress, open an incident-style review even if the feature still looks fine in a demo. Governed teams prefer boring, evidence-backed releases over surprising wins that cannot be reproduced.